I feel like it's starting officially. The holiday palettes are rolling out, and before I get too ahead of myself on the palette that I'm going to talk about in this video, I thought I would ask you guys if you want to see videos like this on the palettes that are starting to come out. Like the Kat Von D one is going to be coming out on the 15th, I believe, and then tomorrow, which is the 12th, Urban Decay is releasing their Vice palette, and then I just ordered the Too Faced Grand Palace set from Sephora yesterday. So you guys have to let me know if you guys want videos like this one on those as well, because I usually pick up quite a few of the holiday palettes. So feel free to let me know if you guys want to see that, because it's always fun for me. I love to do like these type of videos. The palettes and all the releases and stuff really get me excited. Anyway, this video is on the Smashbox Art Love Color Masterclass palette, and this just released a couple days ago on the Sephora website. This was $65, and it comes with a ton of products. Let me read off the back what it says. There's 32 photo op eyeshadows, which for Smashbox eyeshadows, their photo op formula is my favorite. Like the full exposure palettes, they're okay, but I'm not nuts about those ones. I have had good luck with the photo op formula, however, which is what is in here. So there's 32 eyeshadows in there, and then there's 6 blushes, 2 highlighters inside of this palette, and this is the outside box packaging right here. And I did do a demo with this palette, which is the eyeshadows on my eyes and also the blush that's on my cheeks. If you're interested in that, it'll be towards the end of the video. But this is what this year's palette looks like, and I think that the outer packaging is really pretty. I'm glad that they steered away from their normal like black packaging. This is just vibrant and colorful, and it draws you in a little bit more than their solid black packaging. It does have the same style of layout as the Smashbox Masterclass Color and Contour, the one that they came out with last year. They're both in this book style format with a little rubber band or like a band that holds them together. You do have a card inside of here, and I believe there was an artist, yeah, Yago Horzal Hernandez is, I believe, the person who came up with the artsy design of this. This is the little card that comes in the inner slot right here with his artwork, and I think it's really pretty. I'm all about some color. And then the inside has got the 2 palettes here. Now the names of the eyeshadows, instead of like last year's palette was printed on this inside plastic, this year's the names are printed on the outside plastic sheet that comes open like this here. And then both of these palettes as well are removable. You can take each one out, and you can also, if you want to, you can take the lids off. They pop right off and they pop on. It's really convenient. And the packaging on this as well is really sturdy packaging, so I do like that. And then in the back of the palette you have got 4 look cards, and on each card there's 4 looks. There's 2 on the front and 2 on the back. I tried to use as many eyeshadows as I could to really get a feel for them, and I did end up using one of the blushes as kind of a transition shade through the crease, and I did use the Prism Cheek blush right here, which I do have a full size of that from Smashbox, and I have hit major pan on it. It's one of my favorite blushes ever. So that's the pink that's on my cheek, is this Prism Cheek color right here. I ended up using 3 of the matte eyeshadows, and then also the Sunset Cheek blush, which is kind of a matte shade, and they blended really well. I had no fallout at all with the matte shades that I used, which was awesome, and they built and blended very nicely for me. There was a couple of the like shimmer shades in here that were a little bit drier and chunkier, and I'd put one of the green shades on the inner portion of my lid, and that was actually the shade that had the most fallout. It was like a chunkier glitter shade, and from first glance I can see that there's like 4 of those type of shades inside this palette, and when I get up close and do the swatches, hopefully you guys will be able to see that a little bit better. But my overall first experience with this is a very good one, and I've also had good experiences with the Photo Op Masterclass palettes from Smashbox in the past. I'm going to get up close and show you guys this palette all together and kind of get a real feel of what the whole thing looks like. Then I'm going to pull these each out and give you guys some swatches, because it's going to be a little bit harder for me to hold this up. So here is the palette up close. The outer portion, like the very outside of it, is kind of like a it's like a cardboard feel to it, or it could be like the plastic that's covered with a thicker paper as well, but the inside of the actual packaging is very sturdy, and it's a plastic, a hard plastic. This is the width of it. It's a chunky little guy, but there's a ton of product in here. And then you've got your rubber band right here that comes off, and then these here, there's the little hinges. These pop out of here like so here. So they pop right out of here, and then also if you want to, you can actually pop the cover of this. See, the names are written on side this cover. You can actually pop the cover right off of this as well if you need to do that. I'll go ahead and do the cheek colors first. So here's the highlighter, that transition color that I used, which is a neutral type of blush, this corally color, and then this pink, which these two both have like sheen shimmers to them. So there are the cheek colors in the left half of the palette. Right there. Now I'll swatch these shadows, starting with the pink ones on top. And this one here is a little bit chunky. So there are the pink row. Right there. Then we'll do these neutrals. Oh, this one really feels nice. So does this guy. So there are the neutral ones. Right there. And we'll go with these golds and orange colors. This one here looks like to be a little bit of a chunky one as well. This guy. This one is pretty smooth. This one's kind of smooth. And then the matte is smooth as well. The mattes really perform nicely for me out of this. And then the green shades, which these two I did use on my lids right here. I love Prism. I already said that, I know, like a couple times, but it's like one of my favorite blushes. So there are the blush shades and then the highlighter. That looks like a really pretty fall color. Now I'll start off with these blue shades on top. This color is so beautiful. I was like having such a hard time deciding what to dive into to start using for the eyeshadow look. This one here is kind of chunky as well, this blue one. There's a couple of those chunkier shades in this palette. Still a really pretty color, but the chunkier ones I did notice from using that one that they have a little bit of fallout, those ones. Bam! We'll do this row. This one is a chunky one. Now we'll do these purples. I was really impressed with this matte purple, which I did use through the crease. It was just really, really good. I was impressed with all the mattes that I used, actually. I didn't have any patchiness and they just blended so nice. And then this last row, which would be like your gray smoky. Now hopefully these are fitting in frame. They sort of are. Here's the bottom one is last year's Masterclass palette, and then the top one is this year's Masterclass palette. And I like both of them. I do. With the exception of a couple of the chunky shades in the newer one. I didn't find those chunky shades in last year's one, to be honest with you. There are some chunky ones in this year's. They're pretty on the lids. I did use them, but they did have fallout, so. I'm kind of glancing between the two, and I do see that Sky, Zoom, and Naked, right off the bat, I can see that those are duplicates from last year's palette. Other than that, I don't see too many. For as many shades that are in these two, there aren't a ton of duplicates. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I was trying to get everything in frame because those are kind of some larger palettes to be holding next to each other. But I do really like the Masterclass palette. And then you can see I do have some transfer of that green onto the purple up through my crease. But typically with shimmery shades, I get that a lot because I have this hooded type of an eye. Now if you want to see the demo for this palette, you can hang tight and we will get into it right now. On a Goss number 14 brush, I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is called Prism. It's actually one of my favorite light baby pink blushes. So I'm going to use that for a blush. I could have possibly chosen a smaller brush for this because this is like size-wise. You can see I'm almost hitting an eyeshadow in there. I went ahead and primed my lids from the lash line to up underneath the brow with the NYX eyeshadow bases in the shade. I mixed these two together. It's the matte white and the matte flesh tone color, number 1 and number 3. There's so much variety in this palette and some really pretty colors. I'm like having a hard time seeing what I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to dip into this shade right here, which is called C. And I'm going to put that on the inner portion of the lid. This one here is kind of a chunkier shade. So I'm going to definitely tap my brush off for that. Put it right here. Oh, it is a really pretty green. Use a little bit more pigmentation that one, and I have a little bit of fallout here. On the same Goss 18 brush, I'm going to go into the shade right above C. It's called Zoom. And I'm going to put that on the center of the lid. Or the outer center, I suppose. I'm trying to do like a gradient effect here. That one's really pretty. And go into Orchid, which is it looks like a kind of a vibrant dark matte purple color on a Chikuhodo GSN9 brush. I'm going to pick that guy up and put it on the outer corner and kind of V it upwards. Bring it through the crease a bit. This matte color is really working nice. Very nice indeed. Now on a Hakuhodo J5523 brush, I'm going to go into this shade over here, which is a matte pink color, and it's called Candy. I'm going to dip the tip of that brush in there, and I'm going to put this up here and kind of blend out the edge of that purple shade. These mattes are really working nicely. There's like no fallout from the mattes, but I had some fallout from that first shimmer shade. Then on a Goss number 3 brush, I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is called Naked. It appears to be a matte color. And I'm going to put that underneath the brow. And then on a Hakuhodo BJ142 brush, I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is one of the cheek colors. It's called Sunset. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that guy. I'm going to blend it through here. And blend it on up into that highlight. So here's the eyeshadow before I finish up my eye makeup, because I do like a thicker eyeliner so you guys can see what it looks like without the liner on. I really like how it turned out. The mattes performed really well. I think it's kind of funny that shimmery shade actually had the fallout out of the bunch, but I really like how it turned out, and it was really easy for as seemingly complex as it kind of looks. It was easy. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eye makeup, brows and liner and stuff like that, and I'll be right back to put on some lips for you guys. For lips, I have the Clinique Quick Liner for lips in the shade Sky Violet. I'm going to go ahead and line them and kind of fade it inwards a bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and fill them in with the Be Legendary lipstick from Smashbox in the shade Pout, which this is the newer packaging. I've been through like 2 of these when they used to be in like the silver round cylinders, but needless to say, it's one of my favorite lipsticks. I haven't been wearing it as much recently though, but I used to wear it like crazy. So there is the overall finished look using the new Smashbox Art Love Color Masterclass palette. I really like how everything turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.